active, and that's what people wanted to hear. He found out what's your concern. He had 104,000 people out there finding out what's your concern, and that's what I'm going to address. I'm not going to address what the party wants me to address. I'm going to address what you want me to address. And that's what the Democratic Party needs to do. If it's going to go anywhere, it needs to take a lesson from the Mamdani playbook. You could agree or not agree with everything that he wants to do. And there's some certain things that I have questions about. But I'll tell you, I mean, the country needs to wake up and see that Donald Trump is a baby waking up and saying, I am going to withdraw federal funding from New York if you elect this guy. And he hasn't even done anything yet. If the people want him, and it looks like they did, then let them deal with it. Let them elect the person that they want, and let that person try to do what he's going to do. And if he fails, and if the people are upset, that's another day.
Yep.
But that's not happening. And that goes for anyone, whether they voted for a Republican or a Democrat or a socialist or a communist. It doesn't matter. But I'll tell you, I just had a debate with my next door neighbor who's a Trump-loving MAGA Republican, and we're friendly with each other, but we just had it out. And he said the guy wants to give free groceries. I said, well, why are you saying that? That's not true. He wants to put a grocery store where grocery store chains do not want to be and will not be. And he wants to put, I don't see anybody protesting in the streets because some states have state liquor stores. I don't see anybody withdrawing funding from states that have state liquor stores. So why do you care if we replace the liquor with groceries? I don't understand that. I don't get it. So it must be something else. It must be something else. And if that something else is racism, then you have the problem, not Mamdani. And that's the way I see it, brother. But what do the Democrats have to do? I think the Democrats, they have to look at the people and realize that the people are realizing that it's not a question of Republican or Democrat as much as it is the old guard, being replaced by new ideas, regardless of party. The Republican Party is tearing itself apart. We're seeing MAGA having issues about, domestic politics. When you have Marjorie Taylor Greene come out and, I'll be honest with you, I can't stand the woman. But when you have her coming out and talking about, I can't be on the same page as my party in regards to healthcare because I'm being affected and my kids are being affected. Okay, we need more of that. And that's what we need. And people are realizing, you can't put people in a box. You can't put people in a box and say, are you Republican or Democrat? Because it's changing. All of it's changing. And it's just the old guard needs to go. We don't have term limits on these congressmen. But, the people are starting to realize that we can put term limits on them just by voting them out. And if the Democratic Party wants to succeed in the midterms, it has to realize that it has to come up with ideas. It has to canvass. It has to find out what the people want, what they truly want, where are the concerns, and they will win. If they run on that, they will win. And if the Republicans run on that, they will win too. That's the formula, in my opinion.
Okay. No, thank you for that, bro. I want to come back to Erica real quick, but before I do, I just want to say something in regards to Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson, and this is a reason number 1,580. And then Jermaine, I got you, fam. Why we need to normalize listening to Black people, women, and people of color, because we've already told you about these people. We've already told you. We've told you about Marjorie Taylor Greene. We already told you about, yes, I did speak about this on Facts is Life, right? We already told you this. Just listen to us. Then you wouldn't have to go through this yourself. Erica, fam, go ahead and we'll go to Jermaine.
Yeah, pretty friggin' much. I was trying to remember, where did I hear, her rebranding herself? Where was this talked about earlier? Yeah. It was you and Steve talking about it.
Yep,
okay.
Exactly.
But I don't want to take up too much time, so I'll just say this back to Nader, and then I'll be out of your hair. But Nader, fantastic point. They do not protest when an ABC store opens up. That's what they call the state-run liquor store in Virginia. They don't protest them when they open up. But if we're going to have a city-run grocery store, then they want to protest that. And I don't know if it's more so about racism as it is about classism, and it's likely a combination of both. But Itchy always says this. Mm-hmm. He says, Itchy Banks, if y'all don't know him, he's absolutely awesome. But he does say that nobody wants to take care of anybody else's kids. Mm. Think about that. So it's more so a matter of, okay, so if my tax money is going towards this right here and it's allowing somebody else's child to eat, what is my child missing out on? It's based in selfishness, pretty much, because it's a sense of like, okay, what am I giving up for them to have this? So I think that's more so what it is, and that's symptomatic of something larger than just, I don't want to have this city-run grocery store. I think that's a cultural problem here in the United States of America that we need to unpack and deconstruct. But I don't know how much time we have to do it. Exactly. They are taking the taxes anyways, right? But yeah. But that's it. Smitty, thank you so very much for having me on your panel. I absolutely adore you, and I hope you have a fantastic day, love.
You know I love you, sis. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Okay. Bye.
Smitty.
If y'all not following Erica, please go and follow her. Let me bring in Jermaine. I know Jermaine, we were talking yesterday about the campaign in New York, and then I'm gonna drop down to Sasha. We're gonna keep the discussion rolling. Please feel free to continue to ask questions in the chat, and we'll get some more folks up. I would like, again, another Republican, because I want to hear from Republicans as to, has this changed your view of your party? Has this changed your view of the direction of your party as well? So, with that being said, though, let me go to Jermaine, and then we'll continue the rabbits. You crack me up. We'll continue the discussion. This is why I can't do media, y'all. I love the comments too much. I'll be laughing interviewing people. Go ahead, Jermaine. Go ahead. Your thoughts.
Smitty, what's up, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Yesterday, feel like 24 hours ago, probably.
That's right.
But nah, man. I thought that I'm not shocked that Zoran winning the mayor election, by the way. I low-key honestly thought that race was over the moment. I don't know if you remember, anybody remember that first mayor debate with all the other candidates? And
the Democratic debate.
Yeah, the Democratic debate. And they all asked, what was your first foreign visit would be? And Mamdani was like, all I'm saying, I'm going to go to Israel. And Mamdani was like, I'm going to stay in New York and meet the Jewish people where they are, the synagogues and many things like that. I thought from the moment that, I was like, yeah, he's about to propel to the next level and he's about to take over.
Yeah, huge moment.
But I didn't expect for that race to be called that quick, though.
Yeah.
That I'm really shocked by. I knew he was going to win, but I was shocked how quick they called it.
They called it quick. Yes.
Called it quick. But I thought grassroots campaign, one of the greatest campaign we've ever seen, probably in our lifetime, probably in American history of politics. I know yesterday we said this is similar to now respectfully, don't hate me, y'all, but I low-key think it's a little better than that 08 campaign, y'all. I only say that because, hear me out, I only say that because Zoran was battling both opposition from both sides. Yeah. Unless they were progressives. I mean, he was getting from the Israel lobby, big corporations, real estate, established them, GOP. I mean, he was getting it from all around. And you take on AIPAC and you beat them, I feel like you unstoppable. I mean, he can only go so far because he was, unfortunately, he was born, not unfortunate, but he was born in, Uganda. So I think the highest he can go is the Senate. But still, though, it was just a great campaign, inspiring, gave people a lot of, positive light and hope. And I thought that from overall the election yesterday, I live here in Georgia, and we flipped 2 Democratic seats. And the Public Service Commission and Smitty, that race was called so quick.
Right.
I was like, God damn, the polls just closed. Right. I'm like, God bless. And the fact that the counties in Georgia here, rural Georgia, that were GOP's Trump stronghold. I mean, we're talking about a plus 50 flip. to Democratic. I'm like, it flipped, not even not a small margin, but about a wide gap. So that just kind of showed like people signed them Georgia Power bills and said, yeah, enough is enough, man. Like, hey, hold on now.
That's right.
And
Now, let me come in real quick on what you said about Mamdani. I think it's so important. Okay. And I don't know, we could go back and forth on who ran the better campaign, 2007 into 2008 Obama versus Mamdani. However, this is one of the things I do want to take from Mamdani's campaign that I think is very important because I think all of the energy that was spent against him, a lot of it backfired in the sense that it showed, to me, in my opinion, everyday people, even people that I talk to, that Islamophobia is completely normalized in this country, right? The stuff that people were saying about Muslims and how they were just describing Muslims in New York City and in America, it was like, and all I did as a black person, I just put the word black on it, right? Because that's what I heard, right? And that's what I heard in my youth when people would describe black neighborhoods and would describe, quote unquote, what black culture was. And it was the same exact rhetoric. It was the same thing, except it was Muslim instead of black. And I thought it was so illuminating. And so I think all of that, again, energy that was spent against him was in some ways it backfired in the sense that, again, it really showed people, what was going down. And then you got to say this, right, to the Jewish population in New York City. Mamdani, earned a lot of their votes. So we can't forget about all of those Jewish New Yorkers that showed up and voted for Mamdani. So they deserve some high fives as well. So we can't forget about that because he did very well with the Jewish population in New York City. So let's not forget that. So I thought there were some really interesting aspects to this campaign. Sash, go ahead. Or Tailpipe, whoever wants to go. Go ahead. Whoever wants to go.
No, I agree with you, Smitty. Yeah, it was what just happened 30 minutes ago, at the beginning of your life, that person came up and said that. I wanted to talk a little bit about Prop 50 if you don't.
Yeah, of course. Hey, that's my state. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was very happy that Prop 50 passed. For anybody that doesn't know, that was the redistricting proposition that was brought up in response to Texas's redistricting. That was a great win. I think California. I think now California just has to be careful that those districts just don't flip red. We just need to be careful there.
Mm-hmm.
So that we stay on the course. And then I think. What were the other states that also voted to not redistrict?
Oh, I don't know. Put them in the chat if y'all know the states that voted not to redistrict. I'm not sure. Yeah,
I think it was Mississippi was one of them.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Mississippi that voted to not redistrict. They backed off.
Yeah, so those were also good wins.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Maryland, the governor of Maryland, they're having plans to redistrict to Democratic.
Wow.
But I'm like, yesterday was a strong miss. Like you got to go to hell if the GOP want to play dirty. You can't. I think Gavin Newsom was like, the Dems are too soft. Like you gotta you have to play dirty with them, And I think everything is backfiring now on the Republican Party, especially with this shutdown, which is like I said yesterday. I'm glad the Democrats are holding the line and not voting to open it, because this makes the Republican Party look more incompetent. And I think we saw a result from that last night in the election. So this was a strong message, but not only to GOP, Smitty, but also to establishment Democrats. If you better campaign, you better run on affordability, or not, you in trouble. Don't care how long you've been in there. Don't care what kind of experience. If you're not meeting the people and seeing them where they are and talking about their concerns, which is affordability. As they say, as the youngins say, you getting packed up. You getting packed up out of here. You know what I'm saying? So that was the message I got from last night.
No, absolutely. Let's do this. Let me ask Tailpipe a question because Jermaine, you said something that I want to touch on, which again to me is the theme, and then we'll bring in Saj for her opening comment. Saj, I'm sorry for her opening comment, which is affordability as it relates to health and health insurance premiums. Letty says, "Do you think Gavin Newsom is a front runner or only one for 2028?" I think the person that's going to be the nominee for 2028 is not someone that we're opinion. We'll have to see. Hey, Professor, how are you, fam? But I want to talk about health insurance premiums. I want to get your perspective, Tailpipe, on this. I don't know if y'all have seen, right, those of you who shop in the individual health insurance market with the ACA, and you've looked at health insurance premiums and those new premiums that are going to be out there, plus the subsidies being removed. And, you know, what Jermaine was saying about the shutdown and not backing down and stuff like that. Where do you think this is all going to end up? You know, with the shutdown, and who do you think is going to take the damage from that? And again, what do you think, Tailpipe?
Inevitably, I think that the Republicans will take the damage of and the fall from it, because when you look at just at its most basic level, who controls the presidency? Republican. Who controls the Senate? Republican. Who controls the House? Republican. They control all three branches. Sure, the Democrats understand that they have a soft level of power where they're saying, you know what, we're not even going to come and engage with you guys because you're not even willing to compromise. So we're just going to shut it down and you can take the blame for it, which is why you see Trump getting as upset as he is, rightfully so, because he knows that he's going to get pushed back and fall back off of this. And it's not going to bode well for him because those hateful white people or those so-called conservatives that don't want other people to get the free shit that they're getting, they're starting to feel the pinch too. Even if they're not on welfare or they're not receiving SNAP benefits, and let's say that they're just above the poverty line. You know, the typical old canard of, well, at least you're not a slave. I'm just one level above. Well, just because you're one level above SNAP, you're still feeling the effects because now that hourly job that you have, they're cutting back on hours because there's not enough demand coming through the door. So they had to reduce your hours. So now you're starting to feel the financial pinch. This has a cyclical effect on every single level of industry. When 30% of the population is living under poverty, that's not my opinion, that's US Census data. 30% of the population lives under poverty, under the poverty line. Walmart is a triple net beneficiary of welfare. So if you are working at Walmart, chances are you're also on welfare, right? So Walmart's underpaying you. You're then using your welfare benefits to shop at the very same store that's underpaying you. And then you're getting dog shit products, causing the cyclical health effects that you currently have now. So those Republicans or those people that are against the SNAP benefits, when you're saying, well, they're just making poor choices. They don't have any choices. You're told what you're allowed to buy. When you go into the supermarket, it very clearly says what's EBT eligible and what's not. So when they divert you towards sugary, fatty foods, the inevitable health consequences and outcomes are that you're going to put downward pressure on the healthcare system. In your own state, Smitty, with CalCare, for example, the majority of people being seen, again, this is not it's not up for debate. It's literally their own data. The majority of diseases that they have to treat, diabetes, hypertension, and I forgot what it's called, the not genetic disorders, dietary influence diseases. Or I forgot what the actual.
It's metabolic diseases.
Yeah, metabolic disease syndromes. Okay, that has a direct impact on what it is that we're funding and influencing. So, I try to straddle some sort of balance. This is not Democrat or Republican. Like, you might want to put a name on it. It's the Uniparty. And to circle it back and close it off and land the plane, Zohran Mamdani is the inevitable consequence, just like Trump is. Except Zohran's platform speaks to the masses and the hurt that the masses are facing. Zohran's issue is not going to come or the threat isn't going to come because of the Republicans. The threat is going to come from within his own party that he continues to try to extend an olive branch to. When you have traitors like Hakeem Jeffries, because democratic socialism is not new. We had Bernie Sanders. I supported and wanted Bernie Sanders to win, just like many other Republicans. So it's not new democratic socialism. His position against Israel is the number one reason why they attacked him. Secondarily was his financial position and his threat to capitalism. And when you have Democrats like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries in their positions, they need to be taken down. Congressman Gregory Meeks, who controls my district in Queens, he needs to be taken down. Those are the people that are going to be the biggest threat to him. At a political level. At an administrative level, they're going to kill him with failures within the system. So because again, New York City, population of almost 6.5, 7 million people, how do you administer that state? At the state level with Governor Hochul, she's going to constrain funding to an extent. By law and by mandate, the tax revenue that the city brings in, they have to funnel that back up to the state for redistribution. So when they control the purse strings and then they defund certain agencies or they cripple him administratively, it's going to be made to look like a failure on his part. So he's got to be incredibly careful with that. So in my opinion, I don't think that he should align himself with the very same people that want to see him gone and see him destroyed. He needs to get rid of those people.
Interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting take. And I agree with you around these chronic diseases that, really plague the healthcare system. I know Leslie, she was mentioning in the chat about her health insurance premiums going from, I think it was like $400 to $1,500 a month. I just don't know how people,
I'll give you the employer side.
Yeah.
From an employer side, let's assume that I pay a base salary of $42,000 after all expenses, and this is for New York. I'm going to give you round numbers. After my employee costs to employ somebody, so I'm paying them $42,000, right? After taxes, they're probably making $32,000 at best, right? Because they're going to get the earned income tax credit. My employer cost is going to be around $49,000.
Yeah.
Since in the last year and a half, remember, $49,000 in the last year and a half. If I decide to hire Smitty at $42,000 and my costs were $47,000 to $49,000, my current costs right now are $56,000 because of your healthcare costs that I need to pay for you. So I got to make sure that I don't fully employ you.
Right.
So because I'm not fully employing you, I'm letting you get under, let's say 38 hours, for example, right?
Right.
Per
so
week.
You have to cover that. Yep.
You're going to have to, one, go get a second job, go two, bleed off and leach off to the system, which causes more upward pressure on prices, number one, and it causes higher tax rates for us all because the state is going to need to fill in those gaps in some way, shape, or form. This is simple math. This is not hard. You don't have to have an accounting degree for it. You truly don't. For example, in New York State, one of the big things that he ran on was the rent, right? You hear and I know this off of I know this off of direct measure. My father worked for the LeFrak organization, direct confidant to Samuel LeFrak, one of the largest real estate developers in New York City. They own half of New York. That's not an exaggeration. You hear this from the landowners that say, well, our property taxes are so high, that's why the rents are so high. That's partially true. What New York City could do, if you were to raise the sales tax, and again, this is a Republican speaking, who's anti-tax to an extent, right? If you were to raise the sales tax by 1 or 2%, you can cover and you would be able to lower the property taxes by over 50%.
Wow.
And still run the cap because the sales tax would fill in the gap by almost 2x of whatever you're bringing in on the property tax level. So to help quantify that for people in the chat, if your rent, for example, is, let's say, $5,000 for that one bedroom, and that's normal in New York, as crazy as it sounds, right?
Yep.
We would see a reduction in your rent by almost 30% because of the sales tax. Again, this is what the developers have claimed. In addition to the cap that Mamdani would institute, you would then be able to fill in that gap, because now you're going to have the people that are renting for $5,000, they got an extra 30% of money that they can use to go bring back into the economic system. They get to go out to eat. They get to eat at the restaurants that they work at, for example. So you get to increase the tax revenue by lowering it in other areas. And this is something that is feasible. It is simple math.
Okay. Let me. Interesting. I know some folks was kind of disagreeing with your perspective on that. Feel free to come up if you would like and debate on that piece. I think that's interesting. Let me bring Sajda in, and I want to bring in Hefe, because Hefe is another Republican, and I want to get Hefe's perspective. But before I do that, I want to go to Sajda and get her perspective and her thoughts on last night. What inspired you from last night, fam? And then what do you think this means for Republicans? If you want to answer, you don't have to answer the second part if you don't want to. But I know you are feeling good about the results from last night. So talk to me. What do you think, fam?
Listen, the first thing I heard in my mind when I woke up this morning was Bad Bunny's voice saying Nueva York. That's what I heard, okay? Honestly, I'm bringing all feelings this morning because to me, yesterday was a historical moment with Mamdani's speech. I feel like some people can be performative, or some people are only, looking out for a specific issue, or only really care about a certain community. But he really tied it all in. He really brought in what's been happening to immigrants. He brought up the fact that this administration made 300,000 Black women lose their jobs at the hand of this administration. He brought in the trans community. He really said, I am here for all the people. He even brought the whole anti-Sem to make sure that they knew that even though he is a Muslim, he's still not going to be an anti-Semite, which is crazy because there's a lot of people claim to be Christians, but they're very hateful. So I'm not gonna even talk about them. I am not going with the negativity today. I don't want to hear it. The fact that he honored his parents and honored his wife, and you could tell it was genuine and it was presidential, and it very, very much reminded me of Obama, 100%. For any people that are hating, you're just small-minded and you're ignorant. But I just wanted to bring in a few slides, just real quick. We also had Jones, who became Attorney General in Virginia. Black man.
Yes.
Okay. We had, obviously, Mamdani. Okay, Mayor in New York City. We also had another Black woman make history by becoming Detroit's first ever Black mayor.
That's awesome.
Woman mayor, okay? Hold on. We had Sharon Owens become Syracuse's first Black woman mayor as well. Black mayor, period. Then we had, right, first mayor. So you see, it not only is it blue, but it's also black and brown. Baby. So that's how I'm feeling today. We had Dorsey as well become mayor. In Mississippi, we flipped 3 seats, okay?
Yes.
And then in Georgia. So to me, this was beautiful in more ways than one. Like I said, not only was it a blue wave, but it was also a black and brown wave, which is what we need more of. And I was really proud to see that. I'm really hopeful to see that. I know we're still living under this administration, and there's a lot of crazy white tea supremacists out there, but it was a glimmer of hope. It was, it's so symbolic. It's so symbolic. Like, America is comprised, my bad. It's comprised of a lot of minorities, a lot. of beautiful diversity. And it's not the poison to America's blood. It is America's blood. It is what founded this country. It is what this country is founded on. So
No.
I'm gonna land it there.
Very well said. No, very well said, and including the Lieutenant Governor. Oh no, the Attorney General of Virginia, right? The first Muslim woman to be Attorney General of Virginia as well. And so a lot of progress made last night, and again, I thought it was incredible. Let's go to Hefe. Hefe, as a Republican, I would love to know what you thought about last night and what you take away from it.
What's good, Mr. Smitty, man? I appreciate you brought me up, man.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna tell you this. Listen, one thing about being a Republican is we really don't care what happens in Democratic states. First and foremost, the place that you're talking about here in Mississippi, because I am from Mississippi, been here since I was 5 years old. Okay, it's in the Delta. It's an all black. It was all black anyway. So you really didn't flip nothing. You're not gonna take the governor. You're not gonna take anything else except Jackson, Mississippi, and the Delta. That's all you're gonna get. Period. So it's not a big loss for us because we know as Republicans that there is so much love for Donald Trump and what he's doing that we're going to continue to vote for him, and we're gonna destroy you guys in the big elections as it comes. And yes, JD Vance is going to be your next president of the United States.
So talk to me about this. Okay, so I will concede that New York and California are
Mississippi. I didn't say California.
Oh no! I know you were saying you didn't care because the states that you saw these victories were in blue states.
Of course, they were all blue states.
But I would say, right, if you look at Virginia is kind of purple to me.
Virginia, I will give you that one. I'll give you that one.
Right.
You have to understand that it is a swing state, and I get that.
Virginia's definitely a swing state.
I would definitely agree with you on that, Smitty.
Okay, and even New Jersey, yes, it's definitely more blue, but it's not completely blue. But what I want to come back to you on, and then I'm gonna drop down and have Saj come in next, is where are you drawing this confidence from after last night in regards to?
I tell you exactly where I get this confidence from, because I know for a fact that there is a big movement of black folks, brown people, a lot of people that usually don't vote for freaking Republicans. That we are coming out and we are making a big freaking name for ourselves, big one, and we are not gonna bow down to the nasty ass Democrats that are trying to take America and turn it into a freaking a zoo. Period. We're not.
Okay, let me go to Sash.
That was a wild thing to do. Can you mute?
You're a little muffled.
Can you mute, Hefe?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I will.
Yeah. Well, I can't slide past that statement calling this a zoo. Like that's a wild racist statement. And then as far as JD Vance becoming the next president or whether didn't his brother just lose? Seems like the people don't want the Vance to power. But yeah, the people have pretty much spoken last night. I think they're done. They're done being taken advantage of. They're done being lied to. They came out and they voted. They made their voices heard. They're done with the lies being spewed. They're done being used. And they came out. The people have spoken everywhere around the country. They came out and they said that they're done. They're done with it.
Yeah, I agree with Sash. Listen, I think having confidence and having hope is all good, but if you're a Republican and a lot of it was the margins too. It wasn't just that, you got a new Democratic governor of Virginia, right, in New Jersey. The margins were big. That's what surprised me. It was like, what was the margins in Virginia? Was it like 14 points that Spanberger won by over Winsome? And so, I don't know. That to me spoke very loudly.
I'll tell you like this, Smitty.
Okay.
Obviously, we got about what? Two. How many years we got left? We got 2 years.
1 year till midterms, and then
right?
3 years till that.
And I promise you, And I promise you, we are going to speak again. Republicans are going to come out and speak again because there's a lot of us Latinos. There's a lot of us black folks. There's a lot of us everything that are turning on the Democratic Party. And we're doing it for a reason because they are too demonic. They don't even make sense anymore. They think that women are men and men are women. And it's crazy to me. Yeah, we're not going down this road no more. And America's going to speak. We always will.
Okay. All right. Let me go to Professor, and then I do got to run. I got to make a call real quick. But Professor, you're gonna be the last voice because I do got to run. Go ahead.
Well,
I was planning on going till 11, but I've got to run early. Go ahead.
I just want to say to everyone, I feel great, and to everybody, it's been wonderful. That's El Jefe. That's a lot what you just said because I feel like I would never want to be with any Republican if that's the talking points of just calling people demonic and mean and all that stuff. That's too much. But that's cool. I will say for yesterday, I think Americans did speak throughout. I mean, yes, Texas might have been doing their thing, but for the most part around the so many progressive folks who identify as left-leaning winning. And I think that has something to do with that. And I know that next year for the midterms, the work starts for midterms right now. And it is, I'm not going to put I have a question mark on it, Smitty. I think it's more of, I'm right now seeing how each of the folks how are they going to align themselves? Because the biggest thing that I think Republicans, the GOP has to deal with, they have to deal with this. The GOP has to deal with this shutdown. Y'all need to get.
It's a Democratic shutdown.
Excuse me. Did I interrupt you?
No, you're right. I'm sorry.
I did not. Don't do that. You should mute. I think that what I find very interesting is that I believe that, like, even though the Democrats are trying, everyone keeps on saying the Democrats, Speaker Johnson is the head Republican and the Speaker of the House. He can call Congress, he can call the House of Representatives in and try to find a way to come away to negotiate. Mm-hmm. He's not. Therefore, if he's not going to do it and he's stalling, he's basically stalling for whatever it is that they're trying to do in that sense. We can say whatever we want about the Senate. At least the Senate is meeting. The House is not meeting. So I think it's one of those things, again, where when we hear people say things like, oh, the Democrats, cool. Democrats are not innocent, but Republicans need to also take a look in the mirror and be able to say, hey, I'm not trying, like, hey, I'm not doing this. I'm not, like, we're not coming to the table either. And I think if you are so big about being holy and not demonic in that sense, I think holding up food against children is pretty demonic, in my opinion.
Yeah. I also think healthcare premiums being unaffordable is also very disturbing. I won't use the other word, but it's also very disturbing where people have to then choose between a quality of life situation or paying their health insurance.
Not to interrupt you, but I feel like a lot of people don't remember what it was like to have health insurance in the early 2000s. Yeah. I was an undergrad. But my health insurance premiums as an undergrad supporting myself was like $700 a month. Mm-hmm. That didn't include other stuff. So listen, we talking about all these things like y'all no. Mm-hmm. No, and I have pre-existing conditions. That's the reason why mine were high. I have asthma. Mm-hmm. So it's something to that level again where we're going back, and I don't think y'all are ready to go back to that spot because that was not fun.
Very painful. Yeah, I work in that business, and it was very painful for me to turn away customers. When they would tell me their pre-existing condition, that was the worst feeling. Having a product that somebody needed, but they could not apply for it because of a pre-existing condition. That bothered me so much. And so when the Affordable Care Act came along, right, there were a lot of people in our business. Oh, don't support this. I was like, nah. I don't want to be in a business that benefits off of the risk pool being so quote unquote healthy that nobody gets to be able to get covered in the individual market. So I was very happy when the Affordable Care Act came through and all that good stuff. So with that being said, I do got to run, you guys. Hefe, I know you want to say something real quick, like 30 seconds if you could, and then we'll have time for like maybe one more comment.
Yeah, I think it's very disingenuous to what Miss Professional. And first and foremost, I'm going to give you the utmost respect, okay? But I do think that you are very disingenuous by saying that the Republicans are against a people of America that we are. We are Americans. We are Americans, and he's for all of us. He's for every last one of us. And I just don't see. It's hard for me to understand why you guys don't understand that he wants Americans first. Listen, I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm a Latino, soy puro Mexicano. But I'll tell you this, I'm against illegal immigrants. I'm against them. They're not my people. And people always tell me, oh, you're going against your own people. No, I'm not. The people that I go for is you, people that are here in America. Those are my people. That's where I'm from.
Were you born in America or Mexico?
I was born in America, period.
Okay, well, I was born in Mexico and I have dual citizenship, and you don't speak for me. Now, I would recommend changing. Cállate. I would recommend changing your profile picture to the boss, because according to the people that you said represent you, they said that Spanish is not language of America, so you're not American enough.
Well, Spanish is
profile picture.
Spanish is just like English.
I don't care. That's what they believe. That's what they believe.
So that's not even our original language.
And I said disingenuous. If it's disingenuous for me to mention that your party is the one that's they made it into this binary, not the Democrats. They said straight up that they're okay with people having not being able to have access to their SNAP benefits. I don't think that's for American folks. I think people should be able to eat. And if you're okay with children not getting food, that's cool.
Can I ask you this, Miss Professional?
No, I'm just going to say it's Professor Tajuba.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I'm going to be the first to put this out there. I don't really I understand that you would like to have this debate and all that stuff. I'm not debating when it comes to food, children, and people being able to eat. That is not up for debate.
Well, here's one thing.
Not for a debate. You can ask anyone else, but you can't. I will not respond to you.
Real quick, I do, but Hefe, you got to agree with that, man. Right?
No, I do not agree with that. I do not agree with it whatsoever. And let me tell you why. Because yes, do people got to eat? Of course. I care about people eating. I'm one of the biggest givers in my career. I got a good business going on. I make good money, and I give, and put back into the community. But this is what I'm going to say. Democrats are not that way. Democrats are going to starve you because they want to make an agenda and fund illegal immigrants. And I'm totally against that. I'm totally against funding illegal immigrants. Any way you shape it or come at me with it.
Real quick, you know on my platform we use undocumented. Come on, bro. Right?
Oh, okay, my bad, man. You're right. I respect you, brother. I respect you. Undocumented. Okay. I am totally against undocumented people.
Okay. Totally. So let me, and then I do gotta go. Okay. I thought Sajida made a hell of a point because in regards to language, and yes, we can talk about. Listen, Spanish and English, right? They're both languages of people that colonized this continent. Okay, so I agree with you there, actually, for that point. However, where I do agree with Sajida is that, right, conservatives tend to be the ones, right, that tend to have very literal, right, or lack of tolerance when it comes to languages other than English, right? It's very troubling in a land that we say that we're the land of immigrants. We don't care where you come from. But then the minute you speak any language other than English, then now everybody has a problem with it. And so, I don't think that many of the folks in your party, Hefe, that would be happy with your username. I think that's a very strong point she made.
Well, I totally disagree with you. And just to address the comments, listen, me and Smitty go back a long way. He ain't going to block me. I promise you that. Because they're calling for you to block me. He's not going to block me. Right. I'm respectful on his platform, and me and him are good. Promise you that.
So that's. But I thought Saj made a good point. You guys are crazy in the comments. I thought Saj made a good point. In regards to language, because and then this thing about making English the official language, I think that's so dumb. If you go anywhere around the world, man, anywhere, people are so focused on learning different languages and speaking a minimum of 2 languages everywhere else around the world. I think this thing around the hang up that we have, I hate saying we, because I don't have that hang up. I speak 2 languages, right?
So do I.
Right? Oh yeah, no, I know you do. I know you do. But that would be atypical for Republicans. It would be. It's not. It's very typical for those of us on the left. It's not typical for those on the right.
Well, I think one thing about it's just like, okay, because I'm a truck driver, right? I got my own little business going. And one thing I do agree with that has not been taken care of was until Trump came into office, he was the only one that said, listen, we're going to enact all these laws that go against DOT regulations, which was people not speaking the language that they have to drive in, period. I mean, I'm sorry, but America is an English-speaking country. It just is what it is. I mean, there's a lot of us that speak Spanish. I get it. You speak Spanish. Hold on, let me finish, please. Smitty, you speak Spanish. I speak Spanish. I'm pretty sure the Cactus Lady, I don't know your name. I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm pretty sure you speak Spanish too. But what I'm saying is that America is an English-speaking country. If you can't come here and speak English, then you kind of probably need to check yourself and say, why are you here?
So, what can I hold on?
Okay. So yeah, go ahead, Jermaine, and then I got
my quick comment. This is some dangerous rhetoric that you're spewing. It's very right wing and it's white supremacist ideology.
It's not,
and you gotta draw. I think there's a line you gotta draw, like for real. Like this is like misinformation, a lot of misinformation, a lot of disinformation. And everything you said is very hypocritical. And it doesn't align up to even the things you said as far as like so what's going to happen in the next year doesn't align with what happened yesterday. So everything that you said, bro, is really you tiptoeing that line, man, of like very far right wing ideology, and it's just not. It's not true. It's respectfully. Like I think we have to draw a line somewhere, man, because it's just wrong. It's just wrong. So I just had to like say that real quick because.
No, thank you, Jermaine.
I offer no solution. All they do is criticize with no solutions.
Shit, Smitty, I didn't know you had Brad Pitt up on your panel. Look at this Anglo-Saxon man above me.
Stop. let me go. I don't know about that Broncos hat, but we'll talk about that later. let me go to Black Historian. Black Historian, you're gonna be the final comment because I do got to run. I got to make a call, but I know you want to. Yeah, go ahead, fam. Go ahead.
Is this El Jefe that came up here saying that we're an English-speaking country?
Yes.
Who said that? With the name El Jefe talking about an English-speaking country?
That's what said. Just
the United States has no official language. Basically, I want to say people who come over here and speak Spanish. They basically made America complicit and make them have prompts. If you speak Spanish, blah, blah, blah. Because if it was an English-speaking Spanish, they would have made them come. If this was an English-speaking country, they would have made them come over here and speak Spanish and not accommodate them by having Spanish-speaking prompts, by not having Spanish-speaking reps. So basically, Spanish will probably be the official language here. So I don't understand what you're talking about. There is no official language in this country. You come over here, you speak the language that you speak.
Okay, but let me. I'm sorry. I want to address you correctly. What is your name? I don't want to say the. I see
you can hold up. You hold up. No, don't help him out because if you can't, you want us to speak English, but you can't read my fucking name. Means you
I just had to go look at the Black History. Okay, I get it.
You can click on my fucking name.
I did.
To read it.
Why are you so aggressive, man?
Because I want to be.
You're the one that makes black women look.
I'm aggressive.
Hold on.
I'm I'm aggressive towards stupid ass people.
Here we go with the black fucking.
Here we go. Whoa. So listen. I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna be done. Okay. And Hefe, you're not gonna like this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Okay. I do not blame Black historians, Sajida, whoever, coming up and checking people, because the disrespect that Black women and women of color get on this app is outrageous and wild. Number one. Number two.
Why do we disrespect them? Look at the way she was acting. She's a why we disrespect?
Hold on.
This motherfucker. Why we disrespect Black women just because I checked your ass?
Listen, it's wild. It's just not going to be tolerated on this panel. Period. So that you know, folks can go to another live if you want to deal with that. Anyway, I mean, so sorry about that, Black historian. You know, I don't put up with that.
No, you good, because I'm like, he's requiring people to speak English, but he can't fucking read English.
So
every single time he comes up here, Smitty, I can't. Every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time he comes up here.
Yeah, I got you. I got to run, y'all.
Why does he come in all different colors? He's just one of them.
All right, I got to run, y'all. But much love to everybody. I'll see y'all soon. Okay, bye.
I didn't like that please comment, Christy.